Stage 7 of the deployment cycle is reintegration and stabilisation.
Great, the excitement when you know that they're coming and you're going to be seeing them. That normally lasts for a couple of days and then he's back to getting on your nerves.
The acceptance of the soldier coming back is done. The home life is settled. Hopefully by this stage, Mum and Dad have found some quality time together.
Generally speaking, after 4 to 6 weeks of the soldier's return home, new routines become established and couples feel more comfortable with each other again. When this occurs, daily life becomes calmer and stability returns. Eventually, the returning soldier will want to reassert their role as a member of the family and they may want to take back all the responsibilities they had before.
It is quite stressful
as well.
Yeah. It can be quite stressful the first sort of couple of weeks back, obviously with the bickering, purely because you've got a routine set and they'll come in and try and change it, and obviously Daddy's back, so the kids are getting spoiled, which obviously changes the kids as well.
Yeah. That takes a while, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That really does take a while, especially with, you know, we've got boys.
That's probably the hardest bit to establish when you get back home.
It is inevitable, however, that some things will have changed during the soldier's absence.
The easiest way to do that is, obviously, once you've got back into camp, then you have your post-tour leave, is just spend a day with the kids, wake up in the morning, kick the wife out of bed, throw her some money, tell her to go shopping, just go away for the day, I don't want to see you till tea time. And then it's just you and the kids.
Individual personal priorities in life may be different, which can all result in tension. The soldier's reintegration back into family is an essential task, but one which requires the utmost patience if it is to be accomplished successfully.
Like my husband, it comes back and it's like he's trying to make everything better, and he wants to do everything for me and for the kids, and like he literally does everything, and I'm like, please don't do everything, please just choose something and do something, but don't do everything, because you know we've got in this routine. The kids is fine with the routine, and then he comes and like messes it all up, and I have to retrain them.
It just happens.
It just happens after 2 or 3 days. We all three together, and then after my routine will start, and they'll know that I have to get up early and go back to work. And after an hour, she has to feed the son, and so.
So routine will change when he comes back.
Because I was so excited about him coming home. Then when he was home, he was still very, very busy because he was in command as well. He was very busy sorting things out. But also, I think for them, it's quite difficult for them coming straight back into a family environment. Perhaps not so much this time because his R&R was very late, so it's only 6 weeks between. But there's a period of adjustment for both of you. Your expectations are very, very high, and you have to really lower them. And I think you need to give them time to settle back into family life. You can't just, you know, hi honey, you're home, I need a break, here are the kids. That's just not going to work. In fact, he's told me that. That's not going to work.
If I didn't have routines, you know, bedtime routines, this is when bath time is, this is when we eat, you know, and this is what we do at weekends, it does become very difficult. And obviously, when your husband comes home, they want to do all the things that they've missed doing, like go to the supermarket or, you know, doing the washing. That's actually a big thing when you come home. Certainly, when I've come back from deployment, you know, the details of life that you just take for granted are all the things you really want to do.
There is a stage there where the acceptance of the soldier back in the house has happened, and hopefully, you know, things are back to as normal as they possibly can be under the circumstances. Remembering that, you know, everybody changes during an operational tour, both the soldier and the families.
When Ben did get back from Afghanistan, we went out for a meal together, and then he just went straight back off to my room, and we went home. And most of our communication is over the telephone or via email, and that just continued as normal. So we didn't notice any great change in that respect.
And then it's as if they've never been away. When are you going again?
dependent on, you know, Keith did Kosovo and Bosnia with a lot of the lads, and a lot of them didn't come home the same, you know, because of the things that went on out there. Where they went to Iraq the first time, things were happening there. Last time you went, it literally was patrols. You were in and out.
Yeah.
Most people mingled round camp, and a lot of the lads, we've been on a 6-month holiday. You know, they weren't. It depends on what sort of tour to how the lads are going to come back.
It doesn't happen instantly. It really doesn't. It's not all laughs and, you know, hugs and kisses and all lovely. It's quite difficult because they've been living in a very different environment for quite a long time with men. And, you know, coming back, screaming children around them, they're used to having relative adult conversations. It's quite difficult.
Unlike civilian couples, the separation of deployment provides soldier and spouse with an opportunity to evaluate changes within themselves and what direction they want their marriage to take. Many military couples have reported that their relationship is much stronger as a result of deployment. Be proud of yourself. You got through the deployment. Continue to give each other space and take things slowly. Frequent and patient communication, taking things one step at a time, keeping expectations realistic, and taking time to get to know each other again is critical to the task of successful reintegration of the soldier back into the family.
Really, for us as a welfare team, we would keep an eye on this and try to identify those that might not have been able to settle back in as easily as others have done. And really we would focus on helping those wherever we can.
Sometimes it's difficult for the serving person and their families to maybe approach somebody for worries or concerns that may be with them about themselves or their loved ones. What we try to do is explain to everybody that we offer a confidential service within certain boundaries where they can come and discuss with us their issues, and what we try to do straight away is put their minds at rest with the stigma that's attached to coming to welfare, to ensure them that actually there's quite a few untapped resources that perhaps we are able to tap into for them that they may not have considered on their own. And sometimes just coming and speaking to us in a confidential service that we offer, we could sometimes put them in the right direction, and just sometimes talking actually helps quite a lot.
If you have got a problem, go to the unit welfare office. I mean, ours for one Lancs, they're brilliant. You know, you can go in, shout, scream, and they'll go, right, you're done. Let's help you now. Okay, don't get stressed, we can help you. Ours are brilliant. But go and tell them. It could be the most simplest little thing, but you've been worrying about it for the last 3 weeks, and you keep, you know, you're at the end of your tether with it, and they can have it fixed in 10 minutes. You know, go and tell somebody, come to the AWS and SAFA, places like that. Just pick up the phone, don't even tell them who you are if you don't want to, or, you know, nip in and see somebody. So you can do it all confidentially, but just tell somebody, anybody.
The unit welfare office provide great support to the families, to the wives, to all of us left back home.
And as I said before, you know, there is many networks of people, support agencies that can help us do that. And it does take time. The end of the tour doesn't finish, you know, a couple of weeks after the tour. It takes time for families to resettle back into a period of comfort and stabilisation.
There is no set plan for when we walk out that door to us coming home in 6 months of how to cope, how to do anything really. It's how you go about doing it. It's what you make of it.
I think it's having a good understanding of the 7 stages of deployment so that they're kind of slightly aware of what to expect. They're kind of normalising the emotions that you go through deployment, and also from my perspective trying to have an alternative to that so that they keep things. It's all kind of standard things that probably most people do, in the sense of keeping busy, learning something new so that your mind is occupied, trying to get out of sitting and eating on your own. That's not always a great idea. You know, microwaving a bottle of wine is not always great. But also taking out your children, getting to know other people, making best use of all the community that we have really, and also the communications that are available.
Continue to set time aside to do things together as a couple and as a family. And remember, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Stage 7. Reintegration and stabilisation. Routines will have changed from before your loved one's departure, so giving yourselves time to adjust and taking things slowly will support the reintegration and settlement into home life. Eventually, new routines will be established and couples will feel more comfortable with their roles and responsibilities. It is important through this stage that quality time is allowed and spent together as a couple rebuilding relationships. For those with children, quality time together as a family is just as important to rebuilding relationships. Look out for any activity programmes, weekend residentials, trips and events which will be available from your welfare office, community support team, Hive and other local providers. The support provided throughout the deployment period will not cease, and contacting your relevant welfare and community services or other support agencies to help, assist and provide information and guidance will still be possible. Please note that these services offer a confidential service, so please ask for their code of conduct. Continue to communicate and do not be frightened to ask for help or support if needed. Remember, be proud of yourself. You have got through the deployment.